What is it like being a Jamaican living in Malawi? Hi, I'm Xavier Murphy, and today I'm talking to Lincoln, who is a Jamaican living in Malawi. Lincoln, good afternoon. How are you, my friend?
Good evening, Xavier. I'm very fine, thank you. We're what,
Good,
7 hours
good.
ahead of you? Yeah.
So, yes, we're seven hours ahead. Not too bad. I've had some interviews where folks are like 22 hours, and and that can be very interesting.
Yes, indeed.
so, so, what part of Jamaica you're from?
I was born in St. Thomas, um,
Okay.
in a small village called Mount Lebanon near Trinityville. But I've got family all over the area, as far as Morant Bay, Seafort, that kind of thing. So I was born in Mount Lebanon, right on the
Okay.
foothills of the Blue Mountain.
Excellent. And no, Malawi. Had you ever heard of it while you were in Jamaica?
Absolutely. No, okay. Let me take you back. I left Jamaica at the age of 9 to go to UK. So even UK, it was some distant thing where my parents were, but Africa was not on my radar at all, and I knew nothing about Malawi. Yeah,
So, how did you tell us a story of how you get there?
I I usually tell my friends that I took a British Airways, and unfortunately, it was the last flight, and I missed the return journey. But that's not really. I've been in Africa for 40 years. I left the UK after university in 1979. I went to Kenya, where I went to visit my girlfriend, who I met at university, a Kenyan girl. And lo and behold, it was just a mind-blowing experience. It's fantastic. And it was December 79, just over Christmas. So after Christmas, I wanted to return to UK. And a friend of mine who had studied at university with, a Kenyan guy, so why don't you stay? Go and see the chief economist and see what happens. So I made an appointment. I went to see the chief economist, and I was with this guy for about 2 hours talking. At the end of it, he says, I want to offer you a job. I said, I was quite surprised. He offered me a job in a new ministry, which the government of Kenya was about to set up, the Ministry of Energy. So I joined the Ministry of Energy right at the start, and I was one of the guys who set it up. And I wrote, in fact, the Kenya government trained me in energy. I mean, I've got a master's in economics, but I didn't really specialize in energy. So they sent me off to short courses in the US and in Europe, along with my Kenyan colleagues. And I became an energy economist. I wrote Kenya's first energy policy. And I worked for the government of Kenya as a civil servant, by the way, until 1984, where I joined the World Bank as an energy economist. I still worked on Kenya and Tanzania and a bit in Uganda. And then before the bank sent me off to Botswana to be the energy advisor to the government of Botswana, where I stayed for 4 years. But in that time, I also did short consultancies throughout Africa and Asia. I worked in Vietnam, Thailand, Liberia, Ghana, Ethiopia, all over the place, which was
You have
really, really
traveled
good.
quite a bit. You have traveled quite a bit.
Yes, indeed. And then I came to Malawi in 1992 as energy advisor to the government of Malawi. And I did that project up to 1994, where I was supposed to go on to Uzbekistan to do something similar. But by that time, I got fed up and tired of traveling. I decided Malawi, the people are very friendly, very poor, and I think I'd like to make Malawi my home. So I've stayed here ever since. And I went private sector, and I'm an established businessman in the Malawi private sector. I'm into coal mining. Okay, I own a large coal mine here. I supply coal to Malawi industry. The main industry in Malawi is tobacco. We grow a lot of tobacco, and my coal is used to cure the tobacco. I supply coal to the cement industry, poultry. Anybody who wants to raise steam, use my coal. I started a insurance broking firm 24 years ago. It became one of the largest, and I've handed it over to the staff as a means of empowering them. My big project now is I'm working on a 100 megawatt coal-fired power plant. It's been difficult to raise capital from the normal Western financial institutions. So I've been working very closely with the China Exim Bank. Sino-Hydro is my EPC contractor. I've got Power China to make an equity investment in the project. The idea is, first phase is to deliver 100 megawatts into the grid to boost power, baseload power in Malawi, which is a big problem. Recently, this new government, the president has appointed me to the board of the Malawi Revenue Authority.
Congrats.
I sit on the board of Malawi Revenue Authority. Can you imagine, a Jamaican? So that must say something.
Yes.
Okay. And then last week, the High Commissioner, Jamaica High Commissioner in Pretoria, sent me a note to say that the government of Jamaica has seen it fit to offer me the position of honorary consul in Malawi, which again is very good.
So the people, you talk a little bit about the people. You said they're poor. You also said they're very nice. They're very friendly. What are some of the customs there that you absolutely like, and what about the people? What are some of their customs and some of the things they do that really is welcoming?
Okay, let me qualify what I'm saying. Malawi is a poor country. It's probably ranked the 4th poorest in the world. But living here, it's difficult to actually see that, and why Malawi should be at that position is it can do far, far better. The last 24 years, in fact, prior to 1994, it was a single party rule under Kumuzu Banda for close to 30 years. And then we had a new dispensation in 1994 with democracy, liberal democracy, multi-party democracy. But in many ways, one can say multi-party democracy failed Malawi, because what we saw and is ushered in was lots of corruption and mismanagement of the economy. So that's really caused that problem. But Malawians are very friendly people, incredibly welcoming. From day one, in fact, one of the reasons why I took the job is because Malawians are very, very welcoming people. I feel much at home here. I feel like I'm amongst my people.
Yeah. So what do they think of Jamaicans when you say, well, I'm originally from Jamaica? What do they think?
Jamaica, as a small island, it punches above its weight. In terms of our culture, our music, it has pervaded the world. And in Africa in particular, post-independence Africa, our reggae music, our culture, the youth have taken it up. And Jamaica and Jamaicans are held in very high esteem. And when I go through this country, I always show my passport, and I'm always very welcome. And Malawians, they think highly of Jamaicans.
Oh, that is great to hear. That is great to hear. The food. Tell us a little bit about the food there. What's the food like in comparison? Don't want to compare, but what's the food like?
Okay, Malawians, and in most of this part of Africa, the staple is maize or cornmeal, and it's a white maize meal where people eat it with what they call relish, which would be a vegetable sort or some fish. In fact, fish is the main animal protein in Malawi because we got a very large lake, a lake that is larger than Jamaica, the whole of Jamaica. It's a beautiful lake. So from that lake, Malawians harvest fish, which they dry. There's a small kapenta fish, which it's very popular, which they eat with the maize meal on a daily basis. I think, what's her name? Denise, no,
Yes, yes.
Clarky
So
from Zambia.
yes. So
She no, just
so
hold on. She talked about the exotic food that people eat here and things,
right.
and she talked about people eating mice. These are field mice, and Malawians catch them after they harvested the maize, because those mice there were the ones that eat the maize. So when they're clearing and doing land preparation, they burn the ground, and the mice run out. They kill them, and then they boil them and put them on skewers like kebabs, and they sell them by the roadside. Now, let me tell you a funny story. Back in 2003, there was a drought in Malawi, and it was a severe drought. So the BBC came down, sent some guys down to do an interview, look at the situation here. So they landed at Lilongwe Airport, and they were driving to town. And by the roadside, these guys were selling these field mice on skewers. So they stopped and asked, "What is this?" The driver told them they're mice. That evening on the BBC, I mean, the announcement was, "Things are so desperate in Malawi that people have resorted to eating mice." I laughed, not knowing that those things are delicacies. They also catch these little birds as well, tiny things. So they're also delicacies. But there are other things like cassava,
Yam,
and
is there any yam? Is there any yam?
potatoes and potatoes. Yams are here, but it's not very popular. You find it in certain places, like in the south, but the varieties are not the same as Jamaica. But what I've managed to do myself is I managed to bring some seeds, yam seeds from Jamaica, and I plant them on my farm.
What type what type of
Huh?
seed you brought? Was it yellow yam yellow yam or white yam? Which type of yam?
Both yellow and white. Yeah, and they grow pretty well here. I have also on my farm. I also grow akis. I'm trying to. I live in Malawi, so I got to make this my home. So I have lots of goats. I keep goats. I keep sheep. I grow yams. I got akis. The only thing I don't have yet is a breadfruit, but it's next door in Tanzania. And there's a Jamaican lady living there, and I've asked her to send me some suckers. So I really like to plant them because I'm sure they'll go very well here. Yeah.
So it sounds like the place to be, Lincoln, is your farm, because you have goat. We can have the curry goat, the manish water, the yellow yam, the aki.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. Indeed. I eat my Jamaican food very regularly, and what I do is when I have a lunch at my home, I invite my friends, which is we live in an international community here, and I've developed my culinary skills. I'm pretty good in the kitchen, so man, I make some wicked curry goat and other things, rice and peas, everything, man. Yeah. So and they enjoy it. Yeah.
So working and getting there to have a visa or and to work in the country, is it a difficult process, a long process? If a Jamaican was thinking of coming there, is it very bureaucratic? What is it like?
Jamaicans do not require a visa to come to Malawi.
Okay.
You don't need a visa. You don't need a visa to go to Zimbabwe, Kenya, any of these Southern African Commonwealth countries. It's visa free for you, including South Africa. So these are countries I travel very frequently, and visa is the last thing on my mind. I just show my passport and I enter. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, the thing I would say is that traditionally Jamaicans and the Caribbean people as a whole used to look for North America and UK as a place to go.
Mm-hmm.
But as we've seen over recent times, and it's really been exposed by this present administration in the US, US is not a very safe place for people of dark skin. It shows the judicial system, police. It's just, the whole thing is, racism is institutionalized there and accepted, and you're really treated as a second-class citizen. But I would say, if you got skills, if you're looking for opportunities, you need to look for Africa. Unfortunately, what has happened through colonial times is that from 1884, in the Berlin Conference, the colonial powers divided up Africa into states, some of them really uneconomical and unviable. And it was done deliberately. And for the Caribbean people, the connection with Africa was severed. You look to Britain as the mother country. No, it's not. I would say to Jamaicans, if you've got skills and you're looking for opportunity, look to Africa. And one of the countries I would say you'll be more than welcome, come to Malawi. And one of the things I would like, we need to establish direct air travel links between the Caribbean countries, Jamaica and Africa. And again, as a colonial legacy, when I do consultancy throughout this Africa, go to countries like Senegal up until recently, or Mali. There were no direct connections between these countries. You had to go fly to Europe, and then from Europe, you fly down to those countries.
Oh, wow.
And that's a legacy of colonialism. Internal ground travel, we don't have many rail connections between countries, and it's deliberate. So these are things the African Union and diaspora needs to work on, to bring a closer linkage within Africa and between Africans living in their diaspora. Because in terms of trade, there's great trade possibilities, and we must make that closer connection. Jamaican with African countries like Malawi.
True. I had a friend that was from the continent and said one of the biggest things was, you had to travel north to come back south in some cases because there was no direct flights. And then they were happy when, I don't remember what airline it was, what country, when there was a direct flight. And they were like, they were just extremely happy because now the connections are starting to form, and those flights in between are starting to come together. So that's just great, Yeah.
No, we are very happy because Ethiopian Airlines, they're making Africa their home, and you can through Addis, you can fly to many places in West Africa. Kenya Airways is also trying that. South African Airways but they seem to be having some issues now with COVID, and their survival is a threat. But we need to increase the air linkages across Africa, the road linkages and trade
Yes.
within Africa
Yeah.
itself and
Yeah.
between Africa and the Caribbean.
True. True.
Yeah.
So, what if someone was visiting, not to live, but just to visit? What would you say is one of the things that they must come and see? It could be the lake. It could be something that you'd say you'd enjoy this.
Yeah. Malawi is part of the Great Africa Rift Valley. And within the Great Rift Valley, we have many lakes. And Lake Malawi is the southernmost. And it is one of the smaller ones, but it's extremely pristine, it's beautiful. And that is a must. And in many ways, you think you're in the Caribbean. White sandy beaches, palms, everything is there. But it's just a beautiful body of water.
Great. We'll be sure to
and again, you see, Jamaicans, we're big in tourism. We have expertise and skills in that. Right. The lake has potential for tourist development. So we can have Jamaicans coming in and investing in hotels and resorts along the lake, and the government here would be more than welcome. You could bring the investment into Malawi, you'll get resident permits, no problem.
So your family, do you have family there? Do you have family that come and visit? Tell us a little bit about the family dynamic.
Okay, my spouse, she's Kenyan.
Okay.
Because of this COVID situation, she's been stuck in Kenya.
I see.
And my son is an engineer. He works in London for one of the rail companies, the project manager. My daughter, she followed me. She's an economist. She works for one of the big European consultancy company. They do execute projects for the European Union and DFID from the British government. In fact, because of COVID, she was managing a project in the Eastern Caribbean, but she had to return to Holland when this pandemic broke out. So I'm not sure when she'll return to that part of the world or whether the project itself would continue. But she is based in home office in Holland. So I have 2 kids, I have a son and I have a daughter. They love to come out to Malawi. I'm currently in Malawi on my own. So my family is spread all over the place. Okay. So we utilize Zoom regularly to communicate. But at the same time, my extended family, they're mainly in the UK.
Okay.
My brothers, my sisters, they all love to come out to Africa because they have great experience out here. I have very strong connections with Kenya, where my wife comes from and where I started my Africa journey. Fantastic game parks, fantastic, absolute, beautiful and breathtaking. And Jamaicans, you need to get on the plane and go and visit those places.
Oh, you make me want to get out there. You make me want to come out there. So language, in terms of language, what's the language spoken?
Okay, the official language, again, because colonial legacy, is English. But the main local language spoken is Chichewa. Most Malawians, Chichewa, yes, is the language most spoken by Malawians. But at the same time, we have many other regional languages in the country. So you have smaller groups speaking different Tambuka and other things. So, but for me, and it's a sore point, because Malawians, the people I deal with on a daily basis, all speak English. There's very little incentive for me to learn Chichewa, but it's something I need to. All these years I've not done, but I need to do it.
But I'm sure you picked up a few of the Chichewa.
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 Yeah. Yes,
Chichewa.
yes, 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 yes. Yeah,
So
a bit of Chichewa, a bit of Swahili. These two countries where, as I said, have very strong connections. Yeah.
I now know you are the person that, you know, if a Jamaican is looking to come over there to Malawi, they need to make
Mhm.
sure they know who you are, because it sounds like you're doing great things, you're a mover and shaker there. You know, empowering the people, as you said. That was incredible that you built this company up and then turned it over to the employees, as you said, empowered them to move forward.
Mm. Yeah, development is what I'm about. I live in Malawi, and my aim is to work with Malawians to bring this country up to a medium income level. It is very possible, but unfortunately, as I said, past regimes have been focused on other things rather than bringing developing the economy. Um, so I am an economist. I've been in the development field for a very long time, and where I can make a contribution, I'll make that contribution towards development, because this is where I live. I would like to make sure the lights are on all the time, that people have jobs, and the economy is growing.
Great,
It
great.
benefits everybody. Yeah.
That's excellent. And the power plant. What's your projected ETA based on where you are to get that online?
Okay, so I'm now in the process of about to negotiate the power purchase agreement with the power company, the single buyer. Once I've completed that and we've agreed on the tariffs, then financial close on that project will be 6 months thereafter. And then from the time we break ground to commissioning is 24 months. So we're looking at 2022 to get that project up and running. Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, you provided some great information on the country and some of the great things you're doing there. Really appreciate the time. Any final thoughts? Any closing words for the audience?
My thoughts are that Jamaicans need to not just romanticize about Africa, but look at engaging with Africa. There are business opportunities here. There are opportunities to link and grow together, not just in the diaspora, but diaspora and Africa growing together, integrating. Jamaicans need to, we talk about coming back to Africa, is you've got skills. This continent needs those skills. And you bring them, you bring your investments, and you will profit. That's what
Good.
I have to say.
Lincoln,
Yeah.
thanks again for joining. Again, you have opened our eyes up to the possibilities and the opportunities. Thanks again for joining, and we will be in touch. All right?
Great.
Show some love now. Hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss a video.